Hello, everybody. My name is Brandy Renee, and I am here spreading light and love to anybody who wants to receive it. Just a little bit. I've been on a healing journey using a therapist and just incorporating some wellness habits in my life for about a year. So next month will be a year that I've been on this journey. And so now, and it's not that I'm healed at all, honey. I got some work to do. Like we all do. I acknowledge it. I'm working on it. But I have now had a year to really adopt some really great habits. And right now we are under the stay at home mandate. And so just in talking with my students and talking with people in my life, I've noticed that people who may not have previously experienced anxiety or who are normally able to manage their stress well haven't been doing so well. And so I wanted to come to this platform today to give 9 practical tips or activities that you can incorporate not only during this quarantine due to COVID-19, but also in your life in general. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, please stick around, and I hope that they are helpful. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to get into, and so first let me address that I have my laptop here, and so I'm referring to my notes because I can't prepare for y'all today. And I also want to address my fingertips, that they're fiery red because I put on some hair paint wax in my my coils, and I'm getting some transfer, which is not supposed to do, but I just wanted to address that, and so y'all not like, oh, what's going on with our fingers? But number 1 is shutting off that negative self-talk. So during tough times, when we need love and support the most, some of us might experience negative self-talk. And so what that is just thoughts that kind of confirm the negative experience that you just had. I'm going to remove these because I'm getting a glare. And so what that often looks like is just thoughts like, for example, if something went wrong at work, someone who has a habit of negative self-talk might think something like, see, I knew you weren't qualified. That's why you missed that deadline. Or you don't deserve this position. You're not equipped for this position. And so what that does is that further makes us feel bad about ourselves. It increases the stress. And it just is bad for our overall mental wellness, for anxiety. It can induce our anxiety and just make us feel, like just bad. A lot of the times we don't realize that we engage in these types of negative thinking patterns. And so the first thing that you can do is just start to pay attention. So the next time you're in a high stress situation or you're disappointed in yourself, start to pay attention to what you're thinking about and what you're saying to yourself. And if you can, jot them down or just take note. Do what I call mental journal. Take a mental journal like, that happened, and I began to think this. And then, this is the key part. Start to craft an affirmation or a positive spin on it, something that you would much rather believe. So instead of saying to yourself like, oh, you're not equipped for this job, you're not qualified, you don't deserve to be here, and allowing that, in this example, that imposter syndrome or have you to come through, maybe you can say, you know what, I messed up. I'm feeling really bad about messing up right now, but you know what, all is well, and I'm human, and I have room to make mistakes. And that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make me not good at my job. You can even list the great things that you have done. Often we can give positive affirmations and we can uplift others, but we often don't do ourselves that same favor. So tip number 1 is to shut off that negative self-talk. Okay, so the next thing that I do is I utilize essential oils all the time. I'm like low key addicted. Essential oils can be extremely therapeutic, and each essential oil has a different property that addresses certain ailments, like physical ailments, or also your mental and emotional well being. So, for example, like lavender and eucalyptus can be super calming, and it can help to relieve stress and reduce anxiety. Or oil like frankincense has healing properties. It's said to have healing properties. And also something like peppermint can energize you. So I would encourage you to use those. Some of these essential oils also have mood enhancer properties. So when I'm at work, which like many of you, as much as I love my job, can be a source of stress and anxiety for me. So I have an essential oil diffuser that I keep in my office, and I have a little box that I'll try to insert a picture of here, and it has different essential oils, and it has like a little guide in there, like this is calming, this is energizing, this is for clarity, and I use those as appropriate. So I put them, you usually put in some water with a few drops of the essential oil, and you just breathe it in, and you continue doing your work, or, cooking, or whatever it is, writing your paper, whatever it is that you're doing. Or I also keep some, with me. And sometimes I'll just, open it up. It's like, it's getting a little stressful here. Take a breathe in, and I'll go from there. Some people also will mix this into a carrier oil, like put a few drops in coconut oil or olive oil, jojoba oil, and they'll rub it on their hands or on the neck, so they just have the scent with them. Or if you're going to go with incorporating this tip or activity into your life, that you buy the therapeutic grade. There is a difference. So make sure you're purchasing the therapeutic grade. The next one that I'm going to share is to enjoy a guided meditation. I am not going to tell y'all to meditate, like general meditating, because I don't know how. I'm a talker. I like to talk. I literally don't know how to just sit and be quiet for too long. And I don't know what to do. Like, I tried it, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Because I do like structure a lot. I'm going to suggest a guided meditation because it's sort of guided meditations walk you through visualizations or it'll walk you through what you could be thinking about, what you could be doing with your body at this moment. And so that works for me. That I use because I often need to meditate at night, because I can sometimes have an issue with shutting off all the day's stressors or like my to-do list. I'm a box checker, so my brain's still going with like, what didn't I accomplish that day? What do I need to accomplish the next day? And so one way for me to de-stress before I go to sleep and really get me relaxed is to do a guided meditation. I use an app called Relax Melodies. So that's the one that I recommend. There's others that I tried that just didn't work for me, but I encourage you to go into your app store, type in guided meditations, and find one that works for you, because I have found that it really helps. And for the guided meditation, I actually have been using that skill longer than 1 year. I've actually been doing guided meditations since 2014. Oh, wow. It's been 6 years. So I truly encourage you to use that. Number 3 is one of my favorites, and it is taking a bath. I know. Y'all take baths every day, right? But actually taking a bath with intention. So What I like to do is to set a whole mood, set a whole vibe, especially if I'm having an extremely stressful day. I'm also the mother of an 11-month-old and a newly 3-year-old. I also have a 12-year-old in my house, and I often have my niece over who recently turned 10. So at any given point, I have between 3 to 4 children in my house, and I'm a full-time college administrator. And so yes, things can get stressful. And so my bath time is my me time, but I'm very intentional about what I'm using this bath for. So often it's to release stress. And so one way that I'll set the mood is I'll set up my essential oil diffuser or a candle, really depending on what I'm using in my bath. So I often use Epsom salt, and as you may have guessed, use essential oil infused Epsom salt right now. So for the longest, I will only use lavender, Dr. Till's lavender. Recently, I have been a eucalyptus fan. And so I've been using the eucalyptus soak. And this is good for many reasons. Number one, I'm often at a desk in this position or in a meeting in this position. But basically, I'm sitting down a lot. So it causes me a lot of pain here, a lot of pain in my arm. And then also when you're experiencing anxiety and a lot of unchecked stress, it can take a toll on your body. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a massage therapist and they told you like, oh, you're carrying stress or tension in your upper back or your shoulders. Some people carry it, in other places, but taking a bath with Epsom salt, which is very healing. It offers relaxing muscles, or it relaxes muscles, should I say. And it really just melt away that tension and that stress. You can listen to an audio book while you're in that bath. I like to turn the lights off, turn them down, and just like close my eyes. Sometimes I listen to an audiobook. Sometimes I listen to relaxed melodies, which is like a guided meditation. Sometimes I listen to my favorite playlist. It's often Trey songs or The Dream. Or sometimes I don't listen to anything. I just need to clear my thoughts and just be with myself and just relax. And that's okay too. And then I try to come up with what I want to step into when I step out of the bath. So I'll say to myself, you know what? I'm washing away all the stress of the day. After I get out of this bath, I'm not looking at any emails. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to play a game, or I'm going to watch a favorite show, and I'm going to relax, and I'm going to be kind to myself today. So go in with intentions, cleanse away all of that stress, and enjoy the rest of your night or morning, whenever you decide to do it. Okay, number 4 is journaling. Yes, journaling. I was also skeptical about journaling, even though I love to write and I consider myself a writer. I just thought it might be corny. And I didn't really know how to journal. So I will say there is no right or wrong way to journal. I think journaling should be a practice that you do without any additional pressure. So when I journal, I don't worry about grammar, which is like the one time where I do not put pressure on myself to worry about it. I don't worry about spelling or if my handwriting is beautiful or anything like that. I just write to write. And I just let it flow. And it's very cathartic for me. It provides me with clarity. And also, because I'm someone who lives with anxiety, it helps me to put things into perspective. So if any of you are watching this and you have a diagnosis of anxiety, or you just have high anxiety in general, you know that when anxiety starts to run rampant, it has a life of its own. And so when you journal, oftentimes you're able to put things into perspective and sometimes I even look back and I'm like, oh, that was silly. Like I was creating something bigger than it actually was. And I was able to release a lot of the anxiety through writing. Because once I write it down, it either becomes real or it's like, oh, that's silly. That's not quite it. And anxiety can also come with a little pessimism. And so my next tip is to keep a gratitude journal or a log. And so when you journal, or let me use I statements. When I journal, I often journal because I'm feeling away. I'm gonna be honest. I've tried to get into the habit of doing it just because, I want to do it and it's a good habit, but I often don't. I often go to my journal when I'm angry, when I'm upset, when I'm sad, when I'm having flooding thoughts and memories. But a gratitude journal is something that I use daily. And it's because I want to ground myself and make sure that I'm staying optimistic and knowing that all is well. That even if I'm going through something tough, everything's not bad in life. So I just keep little notes. I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful that I was able to pay my water bill. I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for my students. I'm grateful for my children. Whatever it is, just keeping a little note each day. And so you can do this just on a piece of paper or a blank notebook, or you can purchase like a pre-designed gratitude journal, which I did at Michael's. Or you don't have to buy it from Michael's, but I purchased it at Michael's on the clearance rack because y'all know I love a good deal. And so it actually has pre-scripts. So it's like, what are 5 things you're grateful for today? What are some goals that you have this month? Name something you love about yourself. Things like that. And so it just helped me to keep myself motivated and also, to stay inspired and things like that. So the next tip is to surround yourself with positive people. I just want to take a pause for that. It is so important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals or individuals who give off positive vibes. I feel like positive vibes is being like overused at this point, but I don't know any other way to describe it. Somebody or people who make you feel really good about yourself, or who you can talk to or just enjoy yourself with. So I think it's so important to surround yourself with people who feed your spirit, feed your energy. When you leave, you're feeling full, and that is just so important. If you feel like you're drained after you're with the people you're normally around, or if they incite your anxiety, I would say to try to stay away from those people. People who are always saying negative things, or like in this era of COVID-19, every time you get on the phone, they're like, this many people died in this conspiracy. And okay, we talked about that for the last 2 weeks. I'm scared, okay? I don't want to hear it anymore. Give me something new. Give me some positive news. Is anything positive happening in the world today? So, depending on who those people in your life are, you may not be able to get rid of them right away. Although if they are not, if they're doing more damage than good, eventually you'll have to figure out a way to release them. But for now, just focusing on the positive people that are there, that you can rely on and that you can count on to lift your spirits when you need to, and also for you to do that for them. This next one is a piggyback off of the last tip, which is to identify a confidant. So it's nice to have a lot of people around you. For those of you who are like me, who I'm extroverted, and so I really like the energy of being around people. I just like the essence, that's there when I'm in company, when I'm in good company. But it's also important to identify someone who you would consider a confidant, someone that you can talk to, that you can trust, that you can kind of like say, hey, this is what I've been thinking. This is what I've been going through. You know, what do you think about that? Or do you have any words of encouragement, or whatever language you need to use when you're talking to your friends, and someone who can be honest with you and just say like, hey, like, I don't, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but actually I think you're doing a great job, and et cetera, et cetera. So, I guess I'm getting to quality over quantity, right? And so really finding someone who can be there for you, who also embody those positive vibes, someone who honors your trust and things of that sort. That can be a romantic partner, or it can be a best friend, or someone that you become close to in the community. It can be also a pastor or a priest or someone of that acumen as well. But just find somebody that you can count on, that's there for you when you need them. Okay, and for the final tip, which is one that I highly, highly, highly recommend, see a therapist or a counselor. I am a major advocate for talk therapy and other types of therapy like EMDR, but I won't get into those things right now. But if you're interested in learning more about my journey in therapy or EMDR, PTSD, or anxiety, please, please, please let me know, and I will create a video about that. But the reason why I suggest a therapist is because it's been so healing for me. A therapist can be there to just listen to what happened during the week, or the weeks before you seen them. They can also help you to process childhood memories that are still impacting you today, or trauma that you experienced. And oftentimes we don't realize how our experiences or memories that we have are actually affecting and impacting the way we're navigating the world and the way that we're entering and showing up in relationships. And so having a person who is not a normal part of your life, like on a daily basis, so they have less bias about your experiences, and also someone who's not tied to an outcome, which I think is the key, is someone that you need in your life, because it is so healing, I promise you. And it is a form of self-care. So if you have 1 hour out of the week that you can give up for yourself, I would say to use it in an area that promotes healing, that promotes growth, and growth for you. If you have been experiencing anything that you feel like you don't have a hold on any longer, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to see somebody. And if you want to learn more about how I chose my therapist, because she's not my first therapist and I have fired many before, just because, not because they were horrible people, but they just were not a good fit, please also let me know, and I can go through some of the steps and some of the things that I look for in a therapist. Find somebody who's a good match. I'll save that for another video. But yes, see a therapist. There's nothing wrong, and I'm on a mission to destigmatize therapy. It does not mean you're crazy. It does not mean that anything is wrong with you. It just means that you are have identified some things that you want to work on, some areas in which you want to grow, and you're seeking it. I truly hope that you found this video helpful, and that you may be able to adopt a few of these into your daily lifestyle to help with thriving through anxiety or stressful situations. If you like this video, please make sure you put the thumbs up, subscribe, and click the bell so that you can be notified anytime I post. You can also follow me on Instagram at THEE Brandy Renee. Brandy spelled with an I, Renee spelled RENEE. And until next time, continue in your growth, your healing, and your happiness. Bye.